To Tulunadu belongs the glory of presenting the most talented and capable individuals to the country in the field of culture, literature, religion, art, business, politics, and cinema. Right from ancient history to the present times, many people born or with their roots here have made the name of Tulunadu shine forth on national and international levels. Spreading across from Kalyanpur River in Udupi district to River Chandragiri in Kasaragod, from the base of the Western Ghats right up to the shores of the Arabian Sea. Tulunadu is a place of historical splendor and breathtaking natural beauty.
ಈ ಪಂಚ ದ್ರಾವಿಡ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಥಮವಾಗಿ ತುಳು ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಗ್ರಾಮೀಣ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ಒಂದು ವರ ಉಂಟು. ಆ ವರವನ್ನು ಅದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಯಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುವ ತುಳು ಜನರಿಗೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕಲಿಸುವ ಏರ್ಪಾಡು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುತ್ತಾ ಈ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರವೇ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರವೇ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸಕಲ ಭಾಷೆಗಳವರು ಸಕಲರು ಒಂದೇ ಭಾರತ ಮಾತೆಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎನ್ನುವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುವುದು ಅದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಫಲಿಸಿದೆ.
That the Alupas ruled Tulunadu for the longest period is supported by historical evidence. A section of Bunts of Tulunadu, who are known as Alvas, are considered to have descended from the Alupa dynasty. From their headquarters in Mangalore, Udayavar and Barkur, the Alupas ruled Tulunadu for more than 1000 years. Even though Alupas had as their overlords Kadambas of Banavasi, Rashtrakutas of Manyakheda, Chalukyas of Badami, Chalukyas of Kalyani, Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra, and the kings of Vijayanagar Empire, the control of all these dynasties over them was nominal. From the 14th century to the 17th century, Tulunadu came under the tutelage of Vijayanagar Empire. Consequently, Nayakas of Keladi, Hyder Ali, and Tipu Sultan of Mysore and the British ruled the land. Soon after independence, when the states were reorganized on linguistic basis, Tulunadu became part of Karnataka, then known as Mysore. Tulunadu is famous for Yakshagana, Bhutaradhane, and Jain sculpture, folk sports like Kambala and Aliyakattu, or matrilineal system of inheritance, which have given it a unique cultural status. The word Tulu has meanings like soft, damp, and oozing with water. It has been interpreted by scholars that since the heavy rainfall in the region has rendered the land always moist, it acquired the name Tulunadu. The original inhabitants of the region are Bunts, Bilavas, Mogaviras, Kumbaras or Potters, Bairis or Devarigas, Harijans, Koragas, and Mansas and Meras of Adi Dravida lineage. Most of the Brahmins found in Tulunadu are Shivali Brahmins. They came here along with the royal entourage to perform Vedic rituals and daily worship in temples. Jain Bunts known as Pargades or Hegades are one of the most influential clans of Tulunadu. They were originally Bunts who adopted Jain faith in their Hindu way of life. This fact is supported by historical evidence. Masadika Bunts or original Bunts are non-vegetarian, whereas Jain Bunts are totally vegetarian. Craftsman communities like Vishwakarmas, weavers, Ganigas or oil makers, Yadavas or Maniyanis, etc. are people of outside origin who have settled in Tulunadu. From Goa came the Catholics, Gauda Saraswats, Saraswat Brahmins, Karvis and Kudubis. They all speak Konkani language. The educational institutions started by the Christian missionaries in the 18th century played a major role in spreading modern education in the region. Havyaka Brahmins, who migrated from Uttara Kannada, Sagara, Shimoga and surrounding areas, Gaudas, who came from Sakaleshpur and Madikeri, Bairas, who settled in Tulunadu during the rule of Keladi kings. Kote Kshatriyas and Maratha Kshatriyas speak different styles of ethnic Kannada. People belonging to Gauda community who have settled in Puttur, Sulya, Subramanya and surrounding areas speak a Kannada mixed with Tulu words. Gaudas worship Bhutas like Vishnumurti, Kalaruti, Dhumavati, Panjurli, Guliga, etc. The Muslims from Arabia who had entered Tulunadu long ago through the port city of Mangalore looking for means of livelihood married local women and flourished here as a community. They speak Biari language, which is a combination of Malayalam, Tulu and Kannada languages. In the olden days, the land belonged to Bunts, Bilavas and Mogaviras. Thus go the folk songs of Tulunadu. The Bunts had made paddy cultivation as their occupation, whereas the Bilavas depended upon tapping toddy from sugar palm, palmyra and coconut trees. Fishing was the means of livelihood for the Mogaviras. Long ago, the barter system was being practiced in Tulunadu. Artisans and craftsmen were paid for their work through paddy. Tuluvas belong to the Aquis culture or Jala Sanskriti and consider water as the basis for life. In Tuluva marriage ceremony, the palms of the bride are kept on the palms of the groom and her parents pour water from the kalasha over it. Marriage is known as dhare among Tuluvas. Aliyakattu is an ancient system of matrilineal inheritance practiced by Bunts, Bilavas, Mogaviras and other communities of Tulunadu. Brahmins, Parivara Bunts and the communities who have migrated here from other regions do not have Aliyakattu system of inheritance.
ನಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕು ಏನಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದು ಕೃಷಿ ಆಧಾರಿತವಾದದ್ದು. ಇವತ್ತೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಕೃಷಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ನಾಶವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕೃಷಿ ಕಣ್ಮರೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಒಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕಿನ ಆ ಒಂದು ಗತಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಇವತ್ತು ಬದಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ತುಳುವರ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಧಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪಾಡ್ದನಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಕವಿತೆಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ಮಹತ್ವವೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅವರು ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭೌತಿಕ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಒಂದೊಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕಥೆಯನ್ನು, ಒಂದೊಂದು ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯರ ಬದುಕನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಡೆಗಣಿಸುವ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು ಬಳಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಕಣ್ಮರೆಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಅದು ಕಂಚಿನಿಂದ, ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ, ಮರದಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂಥ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ತುಳುವರ ಜೀವನ ವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸುವಂಥ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲವಾಗಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ.
Parivara Bunts, who also follow Bhuta Aradhane or Bhuta worship, have maintained their own cultural identity among the Bunts. It is obvious that they have been influenced by the Vedic culture in the observance of rituals relating to birth, marriage, death, etc. Tuluvas are hardworking and peaceful people. Since it is not a rewarding profession, the majority of kulalas or potters are moving away from pottery to other professions. In rural areas, people wear a cap made of ericnut leaf stalk called muttale. The muttale worn by men is known as gomparu and the one worn by women as kini muttale. Because of the hot climate, men generally do not wear clothes on the upper parts of their bodies. Dhoti and bairasu thrown over the shoulder is a normal attire of a Tuluva man. The traditional dress of a Tuluva woman is the sari, which is worn in normal day-to-day life. In the times bygone, right from the upper caste woman like Rani Abbaka to the poor belonging to backward community, sari was the standard attire of Tuluva woman. Until about a century and a half back, the wearing of a blouse was not in vogue among many communities of Tulunadu. The seragu or pallu of the sari was used to cover the chest or upper part of the body. The people belonging to the upper castes of Tulunadu like Bans, Jains and Brahmins used to wear silk dhoti as kache along with a jari headgear called mundasu, which had its one end hanging on the back of the neck. Apart from this, during Sese or Akshate and on the special occasions like Pudvaru, Bisu, etc., Tuluvas still wear the mundasu. The bride and the groom are decorated splendidly during the wedding ceremony. The groom excels wearing the mundasu or peta, and the bride looks beautifully attired in silk sari, jari blouse and uttarige sire. Among some communities, when the bride is brought to the wedding mandap, she is seen wearing Mangal Sutra or Karimani Tali and toe ring given by her parents. Karimani is an integral part of Tari Sara and irrespective of the quantity of gold, a must for a married woman. Recently, wearing of Karimani Sara has come into vogue among married women of Christian and Muslim faiths. Bayake, the ceremony to please the wife who is first time pregnant, stands out as another ritual of Tuluvas. The pregnant woman, dressed in a grand sari and wearing pingara, arachnid flowers, is treated to a ritual called Mate Jinjavane, which means filling the lap. A host of sweets are offered to the woman to satisfy her bayake or desire for food. After the ritual, she is sent to the mother's house for delivery. The cobra worship of Tulunadu is of very ancient origin. Tuluvas respect the cobra and build exclusive niche called Bana for them. On Nagara Panchami, they worship Naga by pouring milk over ant hills and stone images. Naga Mandala Pujas are conducted by Tuluvas spending lakhs of rupees. If a cobra is killed accidentally or its dead body found, they perform funeral rites called Sarpa Samskara to appease its soul. Naga Tambilas are another form of worship of Nagas in Tulunadu. Yaksha Radhane or worship of Yakshas has been practiced among Tuluvas since ancient times. The belief that Yakshas offer good fortune and wealth to their devotees is also very old. Yaksharaja, who was known as Birmaha in northern India, came to be known as Birma or Berma when he entered Tulunadu along with the followers of Jain faith. He was given the image of a horse-ridden king by the Tuluvas, with a water bowl in one hand and sword in the other. Through the coming together of Naga and Berma, the concept of Naga Berma was also born. Since yakshas are protectors of water sources, they became the presiding deities of Tuluvars. Along with Jains, Bants and Bilavas also actively participated in the worship of Berma. Even now, in more than 200 places of worship called Garodis spread across Tulunadu and outside, Burma is worshipped regularly. Bhutas have been worshipped in Tulunadu since very long time. The Bidus or residences of Jain Bants and houses of Masadika Bants known as Guthus are the focal point of Bhuta worship or Dharmanema. Bhutas evoke a sense of awe and faith in the devotees. They are sure to sort out their mundane problems provided the devotees worship the Bhutas or Daivas on a regular basis and walk steadfastly on the path of truth and righteous life. Even now, the construction of Bhutasthanas and places of worship of Daivas known as Taravada Ilu is an ongoing process in Tulunadu. According to Dr. Chinnappa Gowda, more than 400 Bhutas are worshipped in Tulunadu. Every Bhuta is the living symbol of the faith of the people in the supernatural.
ತುಳು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವವರು ಯಾರೇ ಆದರೂ ಅವರಿಲ್ಲಿಯ ಭೂತಾರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು, ದೈವಾರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು, ನಾಗಾರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು, ಸಿರಿ ಆರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಶತಮಾನಗಳಿಂದ ಪರವರು, ಪಂಬದರು, ನಲಿಕೆಯವರು, ಪಾಣರರು ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಈ ರಂಗಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯಿಂದ ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಭೂತಾರಾಧನೆಯ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ ಭಾಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಪಾಡ್ದನ. ಆ ಪಾಡ್ದನದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದೈವದ ಹುಟ್ಟನ್ನು, ಅದರ ಕಾರಣಿಕವನ್ನು, ಅದರ ಪ್ರಸರಣವನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಮಾರ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿ ವಿವರಿಸಲಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಂಥ ಕಥಾನಕದ ಭಾಗವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಆರಾಧನೆಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಾವಿದರು ತೆಂಬರೆಯ ಹಿಮ್ಮೇಳದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಕೋಟಿ ಚೆನ್ನಯ ದೈವಗಳನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಬಹುದು. ಕೋಡ್ದಬ್ಬು ತನ್ನಿಮಾನಿಗ, ಕಲ್ಕುಡ ಕಲ್ಲುರುಟಿ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ದುರಂತ ನಾಯಕರು. ಅಕಾಲಿಕವಾದ ಅಸಹಜವಾದ ಮರಣವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿ ಅವರು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಯಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದುಕೊಂಡು ತಮ್ಮ ಕಾರಣಿಕಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರದರ್ಶಿಸಿ ಆರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಕಂಡುಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ರಂಗಭೂಮಿಯಾಗಿರುವ ಭೂತಾರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮುಂದಿನ ತಲೆಮಾರಿಗೆ ದಾಟಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ಇದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇದೆ, ತಲೆತಲೆಮಾರುಗಳ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಇದೆ. ತಾವು ನಂಬಿಕೊಂಡ ದೈವಗಳನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳಿಂದ ಪಾರು ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸುವ, ವಿನಂತಿಸುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಆಶಯ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಆಶಯಕ್ಕೆ ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾರದ ಹಾಗೆ ಅದು ಭೂತ ಕಟ್ಟುವವರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಪೋಷಿಸುವವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ಬಹುಶಃ ಇಡೀ ಸಮಾಜದ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
Tuluvars also worship the deities of Vedic faith in the form of Bhutas. For instance, Pili Chamundi, Rakteshwari, Jatadhari, Dhumavati, Vishnumurti, Panjurli, Guliga, Korati and Maisandaya. In the Vedic ritual of worship, the Daivas or Bhutas are offered tambila through Brahmin priests. But normally, a gelu or chicken-based food prepared in a pure and uncontaminated way is offered to